We got classics, we got new stories, wild worlds to view. Samurai, swords to Macamite. Every episode ignite the night. Fire up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Anime unlock, turn it up. Energy blast, fill your cup. Anime unlock, turn it up. Energy blast, fill your cup. Old school, new school, never stop. It's a vibe, it's a drop, it's a bop, bop, bop. From the ninjas in the hit and miss to the stars where the myths exist. Villains rise, heroes fight, we're breaking it down every night. Enemy dreams in neon glow. Unfold the tales you need to know. From action-packed to heartfelt scenes, we're unlocking all your dreams. We got classics, we got new stories, wild worlds to view. Samurai, swords to Macamite. Every episode ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Samurai sword, ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. To view, samurai swords to next to met the night. Every episode ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Old school, new school, never stop. It's a vibe, it's a drop, it's a bop, bop, bop. From the ninjas in the hidden mist to the stars where the max exists. Villains rise, heroes fight, we're breaking it down every night. Anime dreams in neon glow. Unfold the tales you need to know. From action-packed to heartfelt scenes, we're unlocking all your dreams.
Gentlemen, break was supposed to be a 1 week. A lot of things we were trying to work on. Back, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Enemy Unlock 17/20/25, middle of the week. I know we have so much chaotic thing that was going on in the society as it is, and I'm hoping maybe there will be a show that will help you take your mind off anything crazy in the kind of way. But at the same time, discuss what we like to discuss about most, which is anime. How's you guys doing? This is a call-in show, but more a discussion show because we did like 2 seasons. Was we're trying to figure out the actual format of the platform, or why we have a podcast called Anime Unlock, and what we were doing and how we were going about it. And what I have looked at and I noticed, I would say we kind of like making a steady growth on what we're trying to build here. So what I'm trying to do here right now, as I'm waiting people to come in, right? I want people to understand and get an idea of what we're trying to achieve here on this show. My name is CBN Tech Talk. I can remove the ticket out of there, so you can see my name, Tech Talk. also known as Black David, also known as Beer Paul. I'm sure some of you guys recognize me when I used to be on the Black Men Unfiltered network for a while. Some may also recognize me when I first popped up on the Peep network a couple of years back. But after Black Men Unfiltered, and they instead of calling me David, they call me Black David. I took that name right there and there. Now, this is not a reintroduction kind of thing. I want us to try to get to understand what we are here for, why we are here. Um, to the people who watching this on Kick.com, Twitch.com, I want you to understand what I'm doing today. What today will be different because there's a couple of shows we're working on to get on top of and trying to see if I can gauge the audience idea what they'll like to hear, what they'll like to listen to. The first two rounds of show we were doing an in-depth discussion or review on unique, well-made animes or certain anime that's considered to be well but wasn't well made. We're dealing with old school animes and we're dealing with new school anime, like back and forth because for one, I realize a lot of people don't really how I want to put it. As one I've been watching anime since the or early '90s and have been heavy on anime. I've gone even further looking for an anime dated back the '80s, right? By that time, the internet wasn't as expansive as it is right now. So keep it real. And as I continue to dig and look for animation, watching stuff on, like, you didn't have streaming service. We have network servers. Did anybody remember the good old day of cable? Cartoon Network was the actual network on the eastern region of the United States. I live in Brooklyn, New York. If you're part of the New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut region, then you may be recognize a cable service called Cablevision, right? So they're providing cable service for everybody to watch their favorite program, either it be daytime TV, football, basketball, whatever kind of show, day drama, whatever. There was a network called Cartoon Network. They created a lane for anime called Toonami. The Toonami book my lineup was something that introduced everybody into anime. We talked on a lot of different. I couldn't call it an introductory anime. They were like the breakthrough anime. Obito Gundam Wing was one of them. Bleach was another one. Yasha was another one. There was a list of anime that broke into the door for Japanese animation during the 90s. And while we were having the discussion about Japanese animation, what made that particular animation very unique or popular or a cult following. After you're going down that conversation, you start to realize there's a lot of integral part in the play of these things. The second episode that we did on Anime Unlock, it was based on the difference between Japanese animation and cartoon. And I thought that show will be a show that many people will go and look at and get a what to say an in-depth understanding what it really means, right? That was the hope for that, right? As I look back at that show, it kind of like make me start to wonder. I'm not sure people really comprehend it, right? It had about 134 views, about 7 likes, and I was thinking, hmm, maybe you didn't get a chance to promote this video more, or maybe people looking for something completely different whatsoever. I was thinking that. Another thing came to my mind was telling me, you know what? I believe there is somewhat a dilemma here because the head of this network, Spartan Network, would ask me, maybe we're not doing a better job trying to explain nature of jump animation. I don't think that was the case. I'm thinking it's more about how do they want us to introduce it to them, if you know what I mean. That was the issue on hand. But I kept that in my mind. So I thought I'd ask this question. For all the new guests who come to listen to our podcast, who come to listen to our show, how much do they understand about Japanese animation? How well in depth do they understand the original Japanese animation and the culture behind it? So that was something I've been trying to figure out. So I decided to look the past 2 weeks, reviewing all our show that we've done so far. I'm going to see if I can share it, share the screen, because there was something. If you look on the side here, right, there's a lot of show that we have done so far. This is our playlist. As you can see here, we did this show about 7 months ago. American cartoon versus Japanese animation. And we took our time and we break it down because we realize to all the new fans who are joined into the anime community, I thought to realize there is a actual unique division within the anime community. It would be safe to say it's based on ageism, but when I was looking in deep over the years, it's not really the ageism difference. It's more about selectability. No, not selectability. Looking for that word, what would we call it? Selective ignorance, or be more like favoritism. But here's the thing: just like sport, you have people who are very favorite, they have very favoritism mindset. Someone who watch basketball, we know there's a rivalry between who the best in the NBA. We had the Michael Jordan team versus the LeBron James team. They'll start comparing accolade, achievement, whatever, whatever. That's just what it is. Fine. That is great. They do the same thing in boxing. Who the best of pound for pound all time, either Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, or now yeah, Crawford in the mix. Fine. That's it. But in the anime community, it's not so straightforward. That I would tell you. It is not. It is very, very unique. I can't say it's contradictory, but it's not contradictory. But anyone who been paying attention start to realize something about anime. It's almost like as if the anime community have become somewhat of a we want to call it gang affiliated, right now, I just change the background just before your eyes to one of the hottest anime this year time right now, which was Solo Level. Solo Level is one of those type of anime. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very, very interesting. But there was an argument that came up that it got me thinking, like, what the hell are you talking about? And I find it amusing, right? Because my co-host, he's not here. I don't know where he at right now. 'Cause I did send him the link. He told me something that caught my attention, and I started to realize there is a division within the anime community based on what they know and don't know. That's what I'm thinking, if they will for ignorance or there's something else. I'm not sure what it is. But I find it very, very strange. And that's the issue behind it because, for one, me being so heavy, so deep into anime have been a thing that got me thinking, like, where did these people get their viewpoint from? Right? So I'm looking through the my colleague Bearbuck as you watching this thing, yeah, I'm glad you've seen it. We go back and forth. And let me stop sharing it first. We go back and forth. I'm looking for the message first. He shared something to me that almost pissed me off. But I had to understand this though. We're in a very, very unique community where some of these people are new to this, but don't have the in depth into it. And one of the things he shared with me is that somebody made a claim that solo leveling should replace One Piece of the four emperor of animes. Now, when I heard that, I was like, "What? Whoa, 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 whoa! Time out, time out, time out, time out, time out." To repeat that again, so I played the clip that he sent to me. Trying to find it right now, and I found it as a. What do you mean by that? But first and foremost, before you call anything an emperor, you need to understand the history behind it. This is where I realized there's a lot of people who don't know jack about anime very, very well. Nor do they don't understand the actual anime community and the culture that come along with it. They don't know these production companies that built these anime, like Toy Animation, um, Denzo. Hold on, let me call my assistant up and ask my assistant a question. What are all the Japanese anime production companies? And see what my assistant would tell me. And she looking at the list. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to this though. There are whew, several long standing anime production companies that have made a history of building anime for such a forever growing community, right? Now, I might have to share that window with you guys so you can get an understanding where I'm coming from with this. Because if we want to speak the truth about something, you might well have to do it properly, correctly. As you can see here, right? Look at this. Major, like I say, long established studio. These are the industry pillar that built the house we are in, that put the roof, did the foundation. I'm taking a script from my boy Bello, who called himself him in WWE when he came to the NXT homecoming. These are the anime production company that build the foundation for all the anime that we have seen, that going back, I hate to say this, if you have been watching our show, this go way back into the, if it's safe to say, late 60s, early 70s. Because in that same conversation, right, anybody who know Power Ranger might have a discussion about that. Maybe it will be part of the Anime Unlocked show, even though it's not anime, but it is tied to the Japanese culture. If you don't notice this, the original name wasn't Power Ranger to begin with. It had a Japanese name. And the Power Ranger, when we doing the Power Ranger show, which is not the actual name, but I forgot what to call it. If anyone was watching, could mention the name for me in the chat for me. Go way back into the 70s. And there are many different Power Rangers, Japanese version of the Power Ranger show, were not picked to be aired in the US due to the storyline confusion or storyline compatibility or there's something else along the way, or they based what the company to purchase the license for and revamp it for the American audience. So I want you to look at this list. The top of the list have been here for a long time. Toei Animation, they're the one that created Dragon Ball. Which means I want you to understand these are all the production under the Dragon Ball franchise. Talk about Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. From Dragon Ball Z, you had the Dragon Ball GT, which is not originally the idea of Akira Toriyama idea, but the company who owned the IP, which is Toei Animation, pushed his project to do for him. Then you had Dragon Ball Hero. Dragon Ball Hero was a side project dedicated to the video game side of things, but they still put a production on that one. Then you had Dragon Ball Z Kai. There were two versions of Dragon Ball Z Kai. The first Dragon Ball Z Kai was meant for the earlier arc of Dragon Ball Z. Then the other one came in for a later arc. Dragon Ball Z Kai was like almost a, how you want to call it? Is it safe to say it's slight watered down version of the original Dragon Ball Z? But there was something cut in there. If you anybody who watched all of it, you'll notice that. Then when they're done with Dragon Ball Z Kai, they went straight into Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super was supposed to be the thing that took place after Dragon Ball Z. But instead of, let's say, let's remaster and add more content to the Dragon Ball Z, they did Dragon Ball Kai. Right after Kai, you had Dragon Ball Z Super, Dragon Ball Z Super, right? After Dragon Ball Super, with the ending of the Tournament of Power, which was a very big deal, left a vacuum. Now, talking to my co-host, you haven't showed up yet, and a few other people who are familiar with what I'm talking about, right? They're telling me Akira Toriyama did not want to go any further with the franchise. But I recall throughout the years, there was a bunch of news articles being put out by the Toei Animation. They acted for the whole entire Dragon Ball Z team to support the other big name, One Piece. One Piece started, if I remember correctly, did a we didn't get a chance to do the show about that, did we? No, we, we haven't got to try to do the show because the franchise itself is massive. Talk about an anime, right? That have gone way back in the late 1990 to now. Now have over 1,141 episodes. Besides the multiple movies, yet Dragon Ball also have multiple movies. And they hit the issue with Dragon Ball that were confused. They would shout out to Black Boma. We want to have Black Boma join our panel so we can have these type of discussion. So she can bring her knowledge and we can have the breakdown and put on certain view why the Dragon Ball franchise is very uniquely concerning. Now, while they were dealing Dragon Ball, right, and the franchise, the other rival to that particular franchise was One Piece. And One Piece is huge. One Piece is still going on to this day. One Piece is one of the longest running anime production today. There's no other anime in modern time that can compete with. But to my informing, there was another anime that had way more episodes than One Piece. But they could show you how old its anime really is. This is why I'm doing this show, hoping people can call in and people want to if people want to call in, let me know. I'll drop the link. You can join the conversation whatsoever. But this is something I want people to get to understand why we're doing this anime show or anime unlock. We want to start to dig in on a lot of things so we can dispute some of the stupid argument that is out there because we might have a show without showing all the clips of the dumb argument people were making. I want to have this podcast, Anime Unlock, tackling, addressing, talking about on everything concerning anime, whereby no anime is safe. I chose it that this show that we're doing here, if we go talk about anime, we'll properly criticize it objectively. Now, yeah, we have some member of the panel who come in go be kind of biased. Yeah, I know we had a funny dispute over the Dragon Ball, where I call Vegeta a King Pookie. To all the Vegeta fan, that's how I felt. Because throughout the whole anime, Vegeta had to eat. He had to work for nothing. Yet he was the Prince of all saying, "Your father suck at the king." Yeah, but still, I felt like he was King Pookie until someone had corrected me and said, "No, no, 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 he's not King Pookie. He's the prince of sleeping with a trust fund baby. So if he the prince, the king will be Triple H. Pun intended." Hey, I'm just saying. But that was a debate. And I do know, I just found out recently, which is the clip he sent to me, or maybe I sent it to him, that people don't notice. The Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball franchise is considered a huge historical, influential, but also financial aspect of Japan. Meaning, here it is, guys. This is truth. Everything concerning the Dragon Ball franchise, from the anime, from the movie, from the merchandise, from the video game, all in all, fund and build the economy of Japan, which is crazy. This is why I want to do so much more into this because I'm sure it's not just only Dragon Ball franchise that's bringing fun for the country. One Piece, another one, because if anyone have been to Japan, who have traveled to Japan, who have lived there, they will tell you that there's a time they had a promotion whereby you don't do this out here in the US or anywhere else. The whole entire subway system were painted to fit the theme of One Piece. That's the big deal. One Piece is huge. Sailor Moon. I have to say Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was the anime that was catered to the female. There's some guy that loves Sailor Moon. I'm one of the guy who really didn't feel comfortable watching Sailor Moon, but it was a big issue to me for a lot of reasons. The theme behind it, the artwork behind it, it's cool. The artwork is cool. The theme kind of like throw me off. I was like, oh, I was one of those boy back then in my high school years who liked something more manly. This was more my taste. But there's many other animation that came out of toy animation. A lot. But those are the big three right there. Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sailor Moon. If you look at the next list, Sunrise, right? Someone animation studio that now become Bandai Namco Film Work. I want you to pay attention to that name. Sunrise was one that brought Gundam to us. The Gundam franchise. I'll be honest with you, I don't know which one is bigger. The One Piece franchise or the Gundam franchise. Because Gundam is massive. When I'm saying massive, they have been doing anime since the 70s. To the point whereby they bought one of the best anime of the time to come into the Western world, which is Mobile Gundam Wing. That was iconic. That was the first Gundam anime that been broadcast on air live on a major network. That's the truth. Now we have streaming service. Talk about Gundam Wing, Mobile Gundam 00. I want to go OP on this thing, but there's a lot of Gundam. I want to go overboard. You understand what I'm talking about? There's so many Gundam anime out there. Iron, Iron Maiden, Iron Rose, no, Iron Rose, The Witch from Mercury, 00, um, the Gundam Diver. The list go on. There's so many Gundam anime that were made by this company. Cowboy Bebop was second right after Gundam came on the scene. Cowboy Bebop had a very unique flair of anime. I'm kind of 50-50 with it, to be real with you. But what's funny about it, if anybody who got Netflix, you see the live action version of Cowboy Bebop. Same to the live action version of One Piece. And a few other names I'm going to talk about it later on. Yeah, they even had the same live version of Bleach, but that'll be another count. I'll reach to that place yet. So while they were flooding the airway with Gundam, coming from Sunrise, then Code Geass is another great anime. Code Geass is another anime I want to find time to discuss because there's a bunch of different products within the Code Geass. But look at when they got the name changed from Sunrise to Bandai Namco. If you notice this, they do both anime and they're heavier on the video game aspect, no different from toy animation. And when I play some of the mobile two games, is is great. I enjoy the game. I'm not gonna lie about it, but that's what it is. But the politics, the politics of how they run Sunrise, now known as Bandai Namco, is something that got me had an issue with it because just like Dragon Ball have a massive, and I mean massive fan base. They go way back into the 80s. This is why I'm telling you, the new fans that are coming in for the past, I'll give it, we're in 2025. For those who were hurt by the pandemic in the United States, who end up staying home and start to find things interesting to watch and got into anime, right? It became a new fan, a new generation of anime fan. I don't think you know how much anime have been put out there over the few decades since anime been known so far. So anime have been known since back the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, right? Gundam have been in production since the 70s. Even doing remake of the original Gundam they did, and it's on Netflix as we speak. That's the thing. So Bandai had a very twisted way of pushing out anime. It was almost, I can't say it was similar to Dragon Ball. I found out wasn't Dragon Ball, wasn't the toy anime, more so on the creative stuff. Akira Toriyama was not willing to go for it, but he had a protege, mind you. And thing about, we were trying to break down on the second episode on our show about Japanese animation and American culture, there is a level of consistency of the storytelling. Can I compare Japanese manga, which is their version of comic books, let me put them right outside, compared to American comic book? There's only one writer, one creator of that particular franchise, and that'll be a level of consistency. You're not having different version of Spider-Man, different version, like just like I'm referring to what you see in the manga. How you have one storyline portraying Dragon Ball or the Dragon Ball Z franchise. Look on the comic books side, on American comic books, you got different version of Superman, a different version of Batman, a different version of Spider-Man, a different version of it became a normal. You have certain character you like in the comic book, and you find out a different version based on different writer. There's no consistency in that one. That's the issue with American comic books or cartoons. Sort of. There's always a different writer who will give you a different angle what the character supposed to be. Same thing with Superman. This is why sometimes everybody will do match between Superman versus or anyone from the DC or Marvel versus anyone from the anime. I don't want to get into that conversation because there's not a level of consistency when it comes to building a character. Get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to point out. Because that's why I'm having this show whereby we go sit down and have the discussion. We're not doing no anime review right now, but getting to in depth what anime really is. Anime is something that was built from Japanese culture, where it's all about perfection and consistency behind it. They're the reason why they are growing like a virus. And there are people who are loving their work, loving their production, loving their creativity, loving their art, and by well also loving the soundtrack that comes along with these anime. It's big. So when Bandai was doing the thing, there's a lot of storylines that were not properly flushed out under Gundam. We will find time to get into the discussion when we have all our notes for it or all our information, make sure we're on top of that before we having that question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we did cover Bebop. I'm not sure we're going to touch that, but if we're going to touch that, will be soon. We were going to touch the topic concerning Code Geass, right? The next production studio, Madhouse. Madhouse made a lot of great animes. One of the anime I have not get the chance to watch is Death Note. Very unique. It's almost gory like, horror like anime. This is why I think anime is all anime is not really meant for kids. Anime that a great, huge variation in anime. There's always a section in anime that cater to somebody. Yeah, anime that's meant for kids, based on specific age group. We had them set up. Then you have anime that's meant for adult. We talk about this on our first episode. Until somebody that we know called the Sparta and Eric and a few other were goofing around, throwing an idea. What about this? What about? And we were like, excuse me, sir. We're trying to keep it under YouTube guidelines so the show don't get shut down. They're like, hello, yeesh. Like I'm saying, there's anime for adults, and for the growing population, but different genres. Yeah, they are horror animes. No offense. I believe in my own personal objective opinion. I'm not trying to be biased, but the horror anime are far worse than live action. That's my thing. But I digress. The next on the list is an anime that's supposed to be coming back up soon, either this year or next year. Hunter x Hunter. That anime has a very unique and huge and growing cult following. Great anime, great storyline, but need to come back. But it's not yet finished. One Punch Man. Yes. Now, you've noticed they put One Punch Man season one. One Punch Man, it had been moved around from different anime studios. Totally correct. This is why you need to understand these anime studio production. They somewhat determine and have an influence on not only the production on the anime, the artwork, the style, and how great it will make it out there. Studio period. If I'm pronouncing it correctly. Period. This anime that produced Naruto, include Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, then Boruto, Naruto the next, what call it, next adventure, we want to call it. Yeah, that's what it is. Naruto, everybody who watched Naruto, you'll tell you know Naruto is a well-made anime series. With a lot of episodes, but great storytelling. Bleach, another juggernaut. Bleach came out here during the late '90s, early 2000s. Great anime, great storyline. Now it's getting darker now. For its final round. It's not yet over yet. Tokyo Ghoul. No offense, I cannot touch Tokyo Ghoul. Between Death Note and Tokyo Ghoul, if you want to call in, yeah, I will soon drop the link. We'll have the discussion, but I will let you know right off the back. Can I be rude here? Can I be disrespectful? If you get out of line, I will definitely let you go. So the link right now I'm doing this free stream on restream.com, so I'm not sure you'll be able to see the link if I post it. If you ever did see the link, then you can call us, let us know that but you have to cam up though. If you want to cam up and have the discussion about these anime, or your view be concerning these anime, please, you need to cam up. No pornography, no none of that thing, no disrespectful. We're trying to have a very interesting and intellectual conversation about it. Because this is something about these anime why I built this show for the specific reason, because I want us to grow something out here that'll be something to be working a part of. Like I was saying, 3D period produced Tokyo Ghoul. Now I heard people saying Tokyo Ghoul is one of the best anime out there. Now I haven't watched it yet, but when I see some of the preview, I'm not really much of a horror guy kind of thing. So yeah, I will be, I would say, scared or punked out because let's be real, great production, artwork, and everything, and it was like, not for me. No, thank you. TMS Entertainment. I haven't seen a lot of anime coming from that production company. The only two that's known for that is Detective Canon and Lupin. Oh, we got we got a Dragon Ball Z fan up in here. That's what's up. TMS Entertainment, I think it's under the radar, even though it have been here for a long time, just like the top four, which is Toei Animation that produced Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sailor Moon, and many other along the list. Sunrise is now known. Hey, Leo Frank. Hello, Leo Frank. How you doing? Can you come up for a second?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, so saw you were doing a pretty small call-in stream. I'm surprised.
It's more because we took a break because we're trying to figure out how the direction we're gonna go with anime because when we started the anime podcast, okay, now that was disrespectful. So for someone to do just that, this is what I'm trying to avoid. The reason why I create Anime Unlock is to avoid the negativity, to avoid stupidity, to avoid people who lack the common sense of being part of something bigger than them. So if you're gonna be like this guy who came up here and did what he did, then by all means, please don't come up at all. And I ask you not to do that. I built this podcast because I love anime. I've been a fan of anime for more than 2 or 3 decades. Been watching anime since the late '90s, and I've been trying to watch as many anime and possible and be objected by it. Not trying to say, "Oh, this sucks." Like I got criticized for not liking Sailor Moon, and I explained why I don't like Sailor Moon based on the theme behind it. Sailor Moon had great artwork. I'll be correct. I was told it had great storyline. I was trying to watch it, but I didn't watch all the way through. So I'm not bashing Sailor Moon. I'm saying Sailor Moon is great. I love Dragon Ball just like Spock does. I am 46, about to be 47. That shows how old I am. And trying to find all the old school anime of the 80s and the 70s, that's even harder for me because to be told that anime have been going back since the 60s and the 70s, I want to look at all the changes and the growth of the artwork. If anybody who ever paid attention to anime and paid attention to the growth and how it changed from one to another, you'd be surprised. Gundam is the biggest candidate. If you're watching the first couple of Gundam anime they produced back at that time, look at the artwork, look at the anime, look at the production, and you watch it from the 70s, entering into the 80s, entering into the 90s, then to the early 2000 and 2010, then you will notice they went through a lot of growth and a lot of changes that make it very iconic for what they did. They had a lot of great anime within under the Gundam franchise. That is a perfect example to see the growth and the period that came along with anime. Dragon Ball is no different. They thought it was Dragon Ball. You look at the production of Dragon Ball, how it was then, before they moved into Dragon Ball Z, and how they grew artwork in Dragon Ball Z before they did GT. GT is not the same as Dragon Ball Z, but you could tell a slight difference from that. Then when they came back and do Dragon Ball Z Kai, that kind of like, it looked like an upgrade of Dragon Ball Z, but something was missing. Then you have Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super was like, okay, it's a great look. And they made a lot. You look at all the Dragon Ball movies that I'm talking about. That's a lot of it. So it applied to. There's so much anime that people have not seen or touched. Their website they allow you to watch it. You have Netflix, which is one. You got Hulu. You can watch a lot of anime on that one. Have Amazon Prime. Now I'll give you guys need to understand something about Amazon. What Amazon Prime is doing is very unique. They're doing collaboration. So they have their own anime they have loaded in their server, and they're doing collaboration with Crunchyroll. Everybody know Crunchyroll. There's a bunch of anime under Crunchyroll. They collaborate with Crunchyroll. They collaborate with High Dive. High Dive have a lot of Japanese animation as well. And any other network allow them to upload their animes. Now there are other websites that are out there that is free. But if you have the bandwidth to watch it clear, it's different rates. You can either watch it in 420, 720, or 1080p based on the quality of the anime. That's just what it is. I'm not going to skip what I was talking about. I'll talk about TMS Entertainment. Detective Canon, that is a detective anime series whereby a childlike character job with to solve a lot of mystery and a lot of murder scenes whatsoever. That was the case. Limpin, the third, if I remember correctly, they did a live action version of that. If I'm correct, that's on Netflix. but I don't know too much about limping. That's my concern on that one. So I'll leave it at that. Now, the reason I want to go to Nippon Animation, you notice something different. There are two anime was listed: World Masterpiece Theater, and look at the bottom next to it, Hunter x Hunter 1999. You know that Madhouse did Hunter x Hunter in 2011. So I want people to understand this. Hunter x Hunter of 1999. How many years of that between that and the newer version of Hunter x Hunter 2011? Look at that number. This is why I'm trying to point out there's a thing about the anime community that people don't know about based on sometimes the anime is still what stay with one production company, or the person who control the IP, the intellectual property of that particular anime, can choose to say, you know what, we will work with Nippon Animation for the first. After a while, if someone breaks the contract or the contract have not been fulfilled as want to be done, we will pay out their half of the contract and go to somebody else. But whoever owned Hunter x Hunter did it with Nippon Animation back in 1999. And about maybe 12 years later, they decided to go to Madhouse and reproduce Hunter x Hunter from 2011 going forward. If you get a chance, look up the Hunter x Hunter anime of 1999 and compare it to the production by Madhouse of Hunter x Hunter 2011, and you see a difference. This is what I'm trying to point out. Production IG, they produced Ghost in the Shell, very iconic. Sci-fi detective, very iconic anime. And my son's favorite, Haikyuu. My son liked that one heavy. It's about a volleyball team. I can't say any detail, but maybe one day we'll have him on the show. We'll talk about that. I haven't to get so he can give me the breakdown of Haikyuu. I haven't got the chance to watch it. Bones. Bone Animation created Full Metal Alchemist. I hate to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do not, I repeat, do not sleep on Full Metal Alchemist. That's an anime. Some people sleep on it and not realize how good that anime really is. The storyline, the production, the action, the storyline. I'm not gonna lie. It is a great, great anime itself alone. My Hero Academia. That anime have gotten the younger generation, the newer generation of anime fan into this. My Hero Academia, very cool anime. I watch it too, but I'll be like, wow. I think this the anime that will get young generation into it because a lot of young folks, people my son age, my daughter age, my son is 15, my daughter is 13. A lot of people are watching My Hero Academia. That's let me know. That's for the newer generation. Mob Psycho 100. Um, hmm, never got a chance to, but I heard it was great. It was recommended to me before on the pad, but I was watching so many other anime out there. I didn't find time to watch that. Studio Ghibli. They made Spirit Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke. Now, here what I'm trying to point out. They make great anime, but we notice Spirit Away, My Neighbor Totoro, and they're more toward a different genre that may not be popular in the US. But here's something I'll be noticing about. The full spectrum of anime is not hitting the US as the way people thought it would, but that's an issue. It is not. Tatiana, if you join, can you please show me your face so I can know you're real because somebody made it bad, way bad. They were being disrespectful. I need to know who you are before coming. And anyone who will come and going for it, please cam up. If you cannot cam up, please don't do. Because I'm trying to have a respectful podcast here and discuss about anime and talk about the aspect of it and what we try and do going forward. So if you have your cam, please put the cam on. Same thing with you, John Smith. If you want to come on the panel, please put the cam on. Otherwise, I'm not having people come out and make a scene of that. As we were saying, the full spectrum of anime hasn't really hit the US airway like people thought it would be. because there are a lot more studio besides Studio Ghibli and there are many out there that make different type of genre of anime that is not coming out here. You have action, you have historical anime, we have, like I said, you got anime for the kids, anime for the middle age, anime for the older teen, you got anime for adult, you got detective, you got sci-fi, you got horror, and what the term slice of life. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to be objective. You know what I mean? But how would I put it? If I were to find the list of all the genre, let me go do that. Let me find all the list of all the genre. That'll make it easier on me because that's something I've been trying to look at for a while. But the list of anime that are out there is ridiculous. Oh, my bad. Let me put it back on. There was another extra list right behind it. My bad. I apologize. Let me check that back because there was another list right under that one. They were considered to be the more prominent, more modern, or popular studios in the anime industry right now. Let's see, Kyoto Animation, Kwani, in short. They make Clan. I've seen Clan anime. Very good anime. Very, very good. I'm not gonna lie about that one. Violet Evergarden. I never got a chance to see that anime, but I need to watch it. A Silent Voice. Never heard of that one yet. Two Full Table. Now, here this one. The two anime they have on their list. Demon Slayer. One of the best anime right now in modern time. Very, very great anime. Great storyline. The latest adaptation, the Infinite Castle. I haven't got a chance to watch it. I heard it should be out by now. I'll get a chance to watch it, but it's a great anime. Face Slash Zero, another one. Another really great anime title right there. People want, if you didn't watch it, you're sleeping on this. You need to look up that anime right now. And once we get the chance to talk about it, we'll go into depth about it. That's the name of that particular studio. Mappa. Mappa have been for a while now, but I think it's now becoming popular. Yes. Jujutsu Kaisen. I love that anime. It's more into horror slash god kind of thing. Yes. But it's not heavy on me. I don't think it's that scary. Chainsaw Man, that threw me off. That threw me off completely. I'm not feeling it. My son like it. My daughter like it. Hey, we got different tastes. Remember I talk about one IP will be put all over the multiple people? Look at Mappa and look at Wit Studio. Wit Studio do Attack on Titan from season 1 to season 3. Then Mappa took over the final season, and you see right there. There's another thing I'm be trying to point out to a lot of people. This has been going on for a while. Some people who own the IP of a particular anime can choose either have one studio work on the whole entire production, as long as they agree and they are satisfied with the production they're doing, or they're saying no one wants something better, they'll go to another production studio. Which studio is a very well-known studio. Mappa is also well-known. They produce Kujutsu Kaisen, which is a great anime. They also produce Chainsaw Man, which is another great anime. Which studio produced Attack on Titan from season 1 to season 3? But I'm also shocked the same thing happened with Vinland Saga. They only produced season 1. How this is what I'm talking about. And they also produced another great anime, Spy and Family, with Cloverworks. Some anime production works side by side with another production company to produce something much bigger than them. They do that. The Cloverworks, for example, they produce the Promised Neverland. The manga is great. With me, the anime should be better. Spy X Family and Bocchi the Rock. Right? We got Trigger. Trigger Anime Production produced Kill la Kill. This is another great anime. But I hate to say that Kill la Kill will be taught to the females girl, lady who like action movie, looking for something that fit them, Kill la Kill will be a female anime I will recommend for the girls, for the female to watch for sure. If you want to look for a protagonist more towards on the female side, that's one thing to watch. Little Witch Academia, I haven't got the chance to watch it. Cyberpunk Edge Runner, I'm not sure, but I heard it's a great anime. I gotta check on that one. White Fox produced Stein Gate, great anime. Don't know what it is. Yeah, Stein and Gate, yeah, great anime. ReZero, I heard it's great. I'm talking about it. They've got to try to watch it. Started Life in Another World, that's gonna be a slice of life anime, if I'm correct. Lorechi, now look at the list they put, what they produce. Assassination Classroom, I heard that's a hot anime. Different type of storyline, different unique plot whatsoever, but it did stand out. Danganronpa, never heard of that anime, but I need to look into that one. Now, this the name. I don't know how to. I will have to watch it before I criticize the name. Toilet Bound Hanako Kun. I don't know why, but I don't think it's bad. But let's wait and see. A1 Picture produced Sword Art Online. Sword Online is a huge, huge franchise in modern time right now. Very excellent anime, hands down. We never got the chance to talk about it on this channel, but we hope plan to do so. Blue Exorcist, that's another one. It's still growing. Very unique storyline. Fairy Tale, which have been produced with was what? State Light, another great animation. And this is what I've been trying to point. There's so many anime from different genre, and they all have their different perks when they're doing it. And if you go down to the list, this is the small or you call boutique studio, cult favorite experimental. You understand Japanese cultures, you understand manga, then you understand when they're producing anime, the variations start to broaden. You got Science Saru that produced Devil May Cry Baby. I've watched that. Very good production. Very good storyline. It's on Netflix. Interesting. Keep your hand off Ezekiel. I have no clue what that anime is. You knew, I think I heard it, but not too sure. I don't want to make no false information about that. Studio Colorido. They produce Penguin Highway, A Whisker Way, Pokemon Twilight Wing. Take note of that one. Cinema Searcher. They make Made in Abyss. I heard the good anime. This one, the writing of the Shiro, love it. I love this anime. Right now they're in season 4 as we speak, when I'm not to be airing out. So if you're going to talk about Shiro, the writer of the Shiro Hero, then we have to do about season 1, season 2, and season 3. Those three we have to work on before you do season 4. Silverlink created Nona Biori, which is one. Fake Kalilina Prisma. That the last few words of it, that part of the Fake Slash Zero franchise. It's with no different from what Studio Dean's working on with the Fate Day Night 2006. That's all under one particular franchise. I mean, whoever had the IP, intellectual property, allows certain studios to work on certain projects. Doing Studio Dean was also the Fate Night of 2006. Then they get Konosuba, which is a very cool anime. And when you look at it though, Ronin Kenshi, that's from 1996. There's a newer version of Ronin Kenshi right now. So I mean, find out who's working on that one. State Light produced Marquardt Frontier, great anime. That's where it's Fairy Tale. Or they produced the Black Rock Shooter. Never got a chance to see that. Studio 3 AZ, the Flip Flapper. Now this anime, Printed Printable, is a very unique anime for adults. I will tell you on that one. The CG and the tech oriented studio. They focused on 3D, CG, and all hybrid animation. You have Polygon Picture that did Night of Sardinia. Great anime. Ooh, masterpiece. They did Ajin, which is another great anime. It's on wait, Ajin is on yeah. Ajin is on Netflix. Might also they're supposed to be on Netflix by now. Unless they remove, I'm not too sure. Blame, and I got a chance to watch Blame. Orange, Beastar, I watched it with my kid. Great anime. Really great. Land of the Lustrous, I never got a chance to watch that. I'm gonna look for that. Trigun Stampede. Now, everyone who know about the original Trigun anime, Trigun Stampede is the remake, or you want to call it the reboot of that version. Great anime so far. Digital Frontier created Gant. Oh, which is a very unique. Would I call it horror? No. The storyline is very, very unique. Very, very unique in its way. But I gotta go back and watch it again. So I can break it down another time. Maybe we'll talk about that one. Final Fantasy Filmwork. So in production on Final Fantasy, they produced that one. Rafanica produced Hillsong Ultimate, the later episode, but not the earlier one. And Junin Tainchi is straight bloody. That's like a mixture of murder, horror, and adventure. But it's mostly action, but it's off the wall. I'm not gonna lie about that one. Now we're going down. I didn't know my assistant got a lot of names for me. Subsidiary and Specialized Unit. Many large company own sub studio or spin-off, which is true. If we talk about a large company, let's go. Let me see if I can just. If you're into large companies, right? I'll scroll back up. They're referring to each one up here on the top. Toei Animation have a lot of sub company under their umbrella, but I'm gonna know who they are. Sunrise, which now known as Bandai Namco Filmwork, does it. Madhouse does it also. Studio Period, the women have a couple of sub studio. Production IG, I'm not too sure. Bone, maybe. Studio Ghibli, I'm not too sure. Let me go back down. But when we talk about the modern studio, they say they're known for major title in the last 2 decades. We talk about the 2 decade right now. We talk about from the early 2000s, for 2000 to 2010, and 2010 to 2020. That's based on their popularity. Small Nick, you talk about it, they make some anime here and there, but no season behind that, maybe. Now, when you talk about the subsidiary and specialized unit, right? Sunrise Beyond is a subsidiary of Sunrise slash Bandai Namco, right? 8-bit created. Now, hear this though. This anime, please, please, please. I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on this anime. Do not. The time I got reincarnated as Islam, it is very interesting, well written, well played out, very funny, but very unique storyline come along with it. It's a very good anime. I vouch for that one. Please look it up. This is from 8-bit. Now the next one is this kind of anime is meant for people like the Sparta and Eric. This is for y'all lane from Pantheon. High school D&D hero. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You're a grown ass person. You look it up. Just make sure there's no kid around you, okay? I'm warning you. Don't say I set you up. I did not set you up. I did give you a warning. You're gonna look at that particular anime, High School DxD Hero, make sure it's by yourself. Interspace Reviewer is somewhat in that kind of way, but it's not. I've seen some episodes. I was like, okay, you're pushing it. That's meant for the people like this Balta and Eric. Yuri is my job. I'm not too sure, but just the name itself, it give me an idea what it may be, but I don't want to suggest what it is. This is why we created the Anime Unlock. I would like to have other anime content creators who are into anime as much as I do, who are very, very knowledgeable about anime. Not bullshitting, but very knowledgeable about it. I'm talking about your anime from 2, 3, 4 decades. You understand the studio, you understand the inside issue with the politics. Because here's the thing: a lot of these anime about maybe let me be fair, from 60 to 80% is based on manga, and these manga has severe, huge following, right? And within its following, it builds over a period of time. It forced the hand of the IP owner of these manga to say, you know what? Let's see what it would look like if we put it into an anime format. Perfect example: King of High School. Crunchyroll did a collaboration with the manga writer of the King of High School. And I remember they did a promotion about it. It's more than a decade ago. They did Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll took that project, and it was a hit, mind you. But I had a funny feeling they may not be found in manga because another anime that was just like that before. What was it? Oh yes, Shaman King. Shaman King when it first got aired, and yet we did a show about that already. They didn't follow the manga all the way through. They followed the manga from the beginning and tried to do his own thing, which hurt the fan base. Now, I'm saying it to you guys because there are some shows that you got a following or either on Netflix or on Hulu or more especially on Amazon Prime. Because there's a particular franchise on Amazon Prime that offended the actual fan base of the actual book. And when people start to find out they wouldn't find the book material on season one, the viewership dip on season two. And when they're watching season two and saw that it was not getting better, it went even further down on season three. This is why when it comes to an anime, the producer, the creator, the writer, the engineer, everyone behind the scene who working on a particular anime has to make that solid decision in concern in producing that particular anime. Because if they choose not to follow the material, the source material, which it actually be the manga books itself, and do their own thing, they can hit on they can break or hit or miss on the way through it. You can either hit it, you can break the anime, or you can just that's money right there. Because we heard about the rumor about how Soul Level one the best anime produced at the time, but they lost money. Which it doesn't add up. How you could be the best anime at that time and you won an award for it, but at the same time you're losing money? That's throw in the question. What's going on behind the scene? This is why building this anime channel, we want to tackle all kind of not just only review anime, but talk about or compare protagonists, or talk about compare different character, why it's what it is. That's the thing. So that's what we're working on as we speak right now. So I was saying, okay, high school DxD on your own watch. Dormedia, Squid Girl, and Domestic Girlfriend. Domestic Girlfriend, I heard about the manga. It's very weird. I tried to read it. I got weird out. I was with the plot. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely for the girls. A plot with everything. I don't want to say. I'm not trying to be misogynist. And it didn't fit for guys like me. That's how I want to put it. Studio Hibari made Yuri from the 1980 and 1990 classic. Look at that. I mean, it did a lot of anime during the 19. Now, here's another thing. I don't think people noticed it though. will you be aware that the cartoon that you watch in the US during the 80s, I'm talking about Voltron, talk about Silverhawk, talk about Masks. There is a lot of American cartoon that we watch, which were action-packed cartoon at that time, were mostly done by Japanese animators. Voltron is the biggest culprit because yes, Voltron was a cartoon that was made here, but originally came from Japan. The original name for Voltron was Gold Lion. So you got repackaged, put over here, made some different changes on on the animation of it, and will broadcast hit heavy. You gotta be aware of that. Go down the little studio. Oh, let's see. Legendary defunct but important studio. I didn't know they even enclosed. That is crazy. In other words, there were studios that made iconic anime but no longer exist. Gainax. Look at the name they produced. They produced Neo Genesis Evangelina. Most staff later moved to Kara or Trigger, another anime studio. That was a well-known studio that made that particular anime, but no longer exists. Studio Kara, Evangelina Rebuild, filmed, founded by what the guy name? Hideaki Anno, was the ex-Gainax employee. Manglo, Samurai Shippulu, Argo Proxies. Samurai Shippulu is another great anime. Very cool and great anime. Ergo Pixie put it like a horror like anime, but I didn't know it went bankrupt in 2015. That see, this is why I want to have this type of anime podcast where we discuss about all these things and we get up to date with these things. Outland Studio, it created Mushishi, Legend of the Galaxy Hero, will partly dissolved. That company is gone. Now, if you read what my assistant tell me, this is crazy. In total, there are over 400 active and inactive anime studio in Japan. The above list cover the most influential and recognized ones. You know what? Now they give me an idea. I might have to do a show discussing anime studios that not only the most influential one and the recognized one, the one that was not recognized, but it had some anime that we want to watch or so. I think we're gonna do that. Yes. Let me stop sharing this one because this is something that's why I'm trying to point out why I want to have. Because this will allow me to not only work on the discussion we have, because going forward, we're still gonna do anime reviews. I want to have discussion on based on certain things, either with our comparing protagonists or we get into debate, like for example, which I know it may be petty, Goku versus Vegeta. Which character is better than the other? You have a huge fan base in the Dragon Ball franchise to support Vegeta. Not me. I'm a Goku kind of guy. That's just me. You can have that discussion. You can have that discussion concerning the part about the franchise about the Saiyan. Why the Saiyan race or the creation of the idea of a Saiyan is highly unique of itself. Why the franchise need to continue to go on and cannot stop. You can have discussion about if it's up to you guys, who are the worst anime dad in anime history? Instead doing a ranking system. Yeah, the ranking system is gonna be similar to that of Solo Leveling or Fairy Tail When we're going to be, we'll work on that idea whereby we get a graph. It will be triple S, double S, S. There will be A, B. There will be C, and there might be L. I think that's how we're going to do the rankings. I'm not sure. I want to fine tune it so that we can know how to put who fit where. Come to the worst anime dad, the worst anime mom, the best anime mom, the best anime dad, the best protagonist, the best villains. When I have that in the anime, which anime had the best storylines based on what genre, if you want to go that way. Wale, he came late. Hey, Wally, what's going on?
I was wondering why you sent me a link because I'm like, what is this?
Oh yeah, I was on the live. I was having a live book and discuss like what direction we would take because looking at anime as a whole is too huge and it's not simple. And I'm trying to say, you know what, going forward, we're not going to do every show will be anime review. We can have the discussion, and I'll give a perfect list. For example, when I was sharing about all the anime production companies that are out there, and when I sit there and only give a few influential and recognizable one, the one of the last 2 decades, and turn to find out, I didn't know this. There are over 400 active and inactive anime studios in Japan. Now, here's the question I'm going to throw out there. Of these 400 studios, who are they hiring? Who do what in these studios? If I want to be obvious about it, I know you have the animators in there. You have the one who do the graphic designer thing, yeah, right? You have who do the script, yes. You have people doing the drawing. What about tech support? That's because 400. Whew, that's a lot of studio production. The original anime is a big deal in Japan, and what they have, no offense, Japan got a lot of haters, aka South Korea, aka China. As smaller as the island of a country that is, they dominate the anime market on a global scale. Chinese is a much bigger country than Japan, and they don't like the fact that the Japanese are over. Let's be real. When we do the history, Japan was trying to invade China. They couldn't beat them on their turf, so they beat them somewhere else. Anime, and they won in that one like a king. China, he don't like that. They want to conquer the anime, but that's not gonna be easy because you haven't been doing anime in a while. So let's throw it like that. So they have to make them that play. Other than that, my assistant gonna write me all the lists of every single anime company in Japan, and I will keep that list to the side. So whenever we have any idea of story, we will talk about it. We'll talk about an anime review company, or if we do an introduction about a particular anime, or the production that's linked to that, which I discussed about along with it, we would add some depth because trying to find out some of the major studio have sub studio that work for them. Ain't that crazy? So it's like, okay, you have your big company, but you have to create another sub studio to do some work on the side for you. Interesting. So yet, and also, we might do reviews on upcoming animes coming soon, and I think that would be a good idea to work on. What do you think, Wally? You think it'll be possible we can do upcoming anime and be like a review? And I don't want to say deter the audience, but give our view based on one, know who the anime production company is. Two, is the anime based on the upcoming manga that we have no or be aware of. Three, based on past production that I've worked on. Four, based on the idea storyline. Would that be the criteria I'm going to do reviewing upcoming animes?
That's what you want to do.
I'm just looking at it because there's so much about anime you can talk about and discuss about, but I don't want to burn ourselves because we did a lot of show for 7 months straight. And I enjoyed that we had that growing over time. You point out some idea to me that it caught my attention. I was like, I think this is why we need more content creator on our panels, whereby if I be honest, I want to get somebody who's in Japan to join our panel, who could be our inside scoop in case of any dispute or any debate that we start up here on the Western Coast. Because I was shocked, even though I was aware, Solo Leveling put to come in next year. Was proposed, it was scheduled to start season 3 next year. They had a financial crisis this year. They won the award for the best anime of this year, right? But they said they were losing money. It doesn't add up. Now they put up the schedule saying season 3 is coming out in October. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Because by the time October comes, I may not be able to watch it anyways.
Why?
I won't have a computer by then. That's why.
Oh,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone that don't know, Windows 10 will be over by October, which means I won't more likely be here. Have fun.
I saw that. No, here's the thing. The Windows drama, I have been dealing with it throughout my career. I'm an IT specialist. It sucks. But here would suck more about it. I don't think why Wale's saying it. Any of you guys who have a PC, I'm not talking about all you Mac user. Y'all Mac user, y'all don't comment in the chat. I don't care about your Mac. I'm talking about Windows here, aka Microsoft. What Microsoft have done so far had put a limitation concerning their operating system. If you have any type of PC hardware that is not compatible to have Windows 11 operate in normal or peak performance, your PC is dead. What my partner is saying. So according to his hardware telling him, "Yo, boss, I know we old, but we can't take that workload from Microsoft no more. That new manager, he don't like us. We too old for him. He wants something new and fresh and shiny. We ain't shiny. We ain't like that." I'm just saying. I'm just saying what a PC hardware would think about it, because that's technically true. Your CPU, your motherboard, your chipset, your RAM kit, video, whatever that keep the PC running in your PC. If you're not fit the standard of Windows 11, consider your computer dead. Because after the support is done, how you want to put this? I don't want to be raw here, but I don't want Wally to fall off his chair. It's like, yeah, you still have to do an open game bang. No protection. That's the scenario. Meaning, whether that come in you, there's no cure to that. It's not going to save you. I'm trying to be PC related or no PG related, but that's the terminology out of it. So until we can get our boy up to speed or give him a laptop or a mini desktop that can handle the workload Windows 11, we're waiting against the clock right now. I was able to update my laptop. Now, the laptop I boot from, I could ship it to him. I'm thinking about it. I took out the RAM and added to mine. My laptop now has 64 gigs of RAM. And I had it on the other laptop with 32, so I add on to the one I have. I'm not sure if the mini PC or mini laptop you have will have the thing when I work on a laptop I've used it before. It's not bad, but I don't know. I might figure that one out. See if he can use it. I'm not too sure. I got it for cheap for Walmart for like 100 something. Just for use for the meantime. But it will give me some weirdness when I was doing some live broadcasts at the time. You can take both solid state drive and NVMe, which is a good thing. It can back up to 32 gigs of RAM, which is a good thing, but it doesn't have a designated video card. And it can work on Windows 11. That's for sure. So I don't know. I had to help you on that part. So what we can do before October hit, before the, I'm sure a lot of you guys might have the same issue too. You're on here as an anime content creator here. I'm also into IT. I'm a PT guy. I build computer. I've been doing it for more than 2 decades. I understand the in and out of PT. If you have any PT question, you can hit me up. Send me an email. Put a comment. Say, CBN, this kind of PT I have. What can I do with this? I'll give you my expert opinion. What you can do, what you cannot do, and figure out how to go around that. But other than that, let's see. You can do review. You can use debate. Review of upcoming anime. If one thing that stood out that I wasn't sure we can do, not say a book club or anything, because one, for me to get access to manga, I read the manga online. There's a couple of good manga websites out there. You can read a bunch of mangas. So I'll be honest though. This is a very unique thing about running an anime content show or anime podcast. Because I don't want it to be a show or a platform whereby you guys don't feel like coming here no more, or we have not either entertain you guys or get you guys into anything upcoming. Because as much as I watch anime, as much I go behind the scene and talk with other huge anime head out here in New York City, it gets rugged. And sometimes I take that argument that I bring onto the platform. I bring the idea because I'm thinking about it from a fan point of view. I want these studios to hear us and see what we feel about certain anime. If we feel like the anime was done poorly or it could have done better, but not put you guys in the same position like George Lucas. That's what I don't want to do. George Lucas, who the owner of the Star Wars franchise, right? Sold his IP to Disney. What Disney did to the Star Wars franchise, what Disney did to all the rappers. Take that, take that, take that. Mess them up and put out a very ridiculous product that is not in line with the Joe Lucas vision, who actually created the Star Wars franchise to begin with. Not the same thing that happened with the Dragon Ball, because according to Wally, my co-host, and what I also have to reaffirm with from other sources, the creator of Akira Toriyama, who passed away, the late Akira Toriyama, who created Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but did not create Dragon Ball GT. That was his protege. He did not want to continue to work on the franchise. I mean, he was shut. And here's something Wally pointed out to me when we talked about it behind the scene. A lot of the anime creators who are also manga writers, who create such these great franchise, have been getting sick as of lately in the past couple of decades. Like, I'm not saying they're in a very stressful work environment. What I'm saying that they're the brainchild of the unique storyline that we love and we enjoy. And when they're gone, we wonder who will follow suit according to the vision. I shared a list of studios who simultaneously or in some time frame working on the same particular project. Perfect example, Hunter and Hunter. There are two versions, the Hunter and Hunter of 1999 and the Hunter and version of 2011. That happened. I talk about how we had shows out here where we tried to explain the difference between Japanese animation and cartoon because that is what helped us build the foundation why we are having this show called Anime Unlock. And every time we come back, we look through the comment section and see if you have given us any insight. While they did one in particular concerning Digimon, and I'm grateful for him doing that. But we need more input from you guys at the audience. Let us know if there's any anime you want us to look at or talk about or dissect or call out for the BS like we did with Gun Graveman, which is a perfect example. I watched that from start to finish. I felt like that could be a great franchise, but they dropped the ball. They did it dirty. Years have passed by, they did no reboot. Okay, fine. Pokemon. That was referred from the Sparta. That was his favorite anime. I watched a couple of the episodes and I was like, storyline's lackluster. Something's lacking. It could be the way it was just one of the type of anime that could have been, but the studio could have had a limited budget and just. There's other anime that I'm sure while I might have watched or I have not watched, and they haven't finished because of budget issue or production issue or parts issue. Perfect example. Guyver, the Bio Armor. The second reboot did not finish the whole storyline. The first one didn't either. If they're gonna get a reboot, we don't know. This is why when I did this call in, I was trying to maybe people will call in and point out their views or their concept or what we should be speaking on, either the storytelling part of it, the writing part, the artistic part of it, what type of technology they're using to do these anime. Because I don't have a problem with them using CG. The artwork thing is great, but if you notice, look at Gundam is the perfect example. All we're going to point out, Gundam have been to the test of time. One Piece is another one. Okay, if you watching One Piece, you can tell through all the episodes you're going through, they come a time they change up on the drawing. They change up on the artwork. They'll put out a better product over time. Look at One Piece when it first started. Look at One Piece in the latest episode right now. It just starts different. The design, the graphic, the look, the production is different. So I will put that out there. So Wally, what do you want to say here? I know I've been talking a lot. I ain't getting no chance to drink no water. Right now my tongue is almost dry. I can cut somebody with my tongue like a villain.
Well, I don't know what can I say. I just came in here, didn't even know this was gonna be a show, so I don't know what the overall topic.
No,
was.
the show would be a call in. So I'll give my view on what are the latest show we can work on. Because we were doing reviews of anime, but now since we realize how big anime really is, we could do with more than just doing anime conversation. You can talk about the protagonist. You can talk about the writer behind the scene. Like, there's so much idea we can work on a show. So, what's your view going forward? Like, what do you think we should be going forward dealing with, like, from a content creator side of things?
I mean, honestly, like I said before, I wouldn't really know at this point because I don't know if I'll be concentrated by after this point. But one thing I will give everybody a little piece of news. I mean, before this Oh, I'm about to say something else. But before the shebang of Windows 10 closing out and sending me out, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There will be shows coming soon enough. There's a list already being built. I don't know if this will be the final drop off or there's more I can see based upon the collections of clips and things of that nature of ideas that I've seen that I'm incorporating as I go to talk about because there's a lot of decent shenanigans that have been made, a lot of heavy punch to the gut that is well deserved in my opinion that has been said about a particular anime. And amongst other things as far as things that people have asked us to go in a deeper tangency of and of just what anime is. Of course, there's other things that we talked about as far as in our second conversation as far as what's the difference between American animation and Japanese animation, where I pretty much stated that I would not put comic books with cartoons. Ergo, meaning I would make that a third filler of where it's actually a different contingency since it does have story building, just on a different standard.
That
So
is, you're right. I even mentioned that part that you mentioned about the one somebody say something stupid. I was looking for that clip that he gave to me, and that somebody say to replace Ursula to replace One Piece at the Emperor, and I was like,
no, that's that replace Bleach.
oh, Bleach. Oh, sorry, Bleach. You're correct with Bleach. And when I heard that, I was like, do you know the history of anime? Like, this is what I was trying to say, and I said it maybe during the pandemic that would increase the fan base of anime. That could be the kicker. Everybody was stuck home, right? And I'm sure people were looking to turn to what, and they got into anime. And the list I was sharing earlier showed the popularity of certain studios that produced great anime in the last 2 decades. Which means you're referring from the early 2000 to 2010. That's the first decade. Second decade from 2010 to 2020, and coming up to now, right? But no one never thought about the anime that came out during the 90s or the 80s. I mentioned to them on this show that a few anime Gundam for the perfect Gundam show that anime have been here much longer than that. So we might have a discussion about who are the original emperor of anime and why we call them the emperor anime. Jay the Cat will soon be joining our panel as part of the Anime Unlocked team, but I think he may have a twist on what anime should be considered to be the emperor. I think that could be a discussion we should have on the upcoming show about who are the real emperor animes. Because too many people, and you did show me some clips. I was like, we might have to walk away from doing anime review and deal with some of bullshit that people be saying. Because if you want to base on what you see in the Western world, aka United States, it's not enough. Anime have been here longer than that. Because if you want to consider the emperor anime, you got to consider who laid down for the anime community from the very beginning. It's not so. Am I wrong, Wally?
Say it one more time.
If you want to talk about who to be considered the emperor of anime, we should be referring to the one who laid down for the anime community from the very beginning. It's not so.
Well, funny enough, ladies and gentlemen, that little clip piece will be a part of the show.
Oh,
If you wrote it in yet.
it'll be there, but I think we need to do this. If you're gonna do the emperor of anime, you start doing the big three of each generation. But I have to do that.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, David is just throwing away the shows to you already as it is, because that's even on the list.
I'm just saying because we had it argument behind the scenes. One thing to talk about the emperor anime, but we need to do the big three of every generation of anime. Because the generation for anime for the 2010 to 2020 will be different from 2000 to 2010. Then for the 2020 and going forward, that will be a debate. Who we consider to be the big three. And I'm not sure that me and Wally will be the referee alone because we might get called old head We don't know what we're talking about, kind of thing. Or do I say that we are being biased?
You can't be biased because it's already locked and sealed by most people that already know it.
And
Nothing to
this
get around.
generation, and this generation of anime, there's too many competition right now. Because there's some anime coming in for the juggler. They're coming for the titles.
I mean, what this generation will be the 2020s, whoever that ultimately is. Since technically, I haven't watched a lot of 2020 animes because of timing. But I mean, what I think 2000 is already set in stone from a lot of people. 90 set in stone, 80 set in stone. I think what anime goes back to like the 60s, so those are set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
2010s and 2020s are the only things that I haven't really dig deep to even know who's the runner up, the runners for that. But yeah,
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have something we can really throw our. I won't say don't throw money. But I didn't watch. I watched the fight this weekend after I had to deal with some issue. And I told my son, "You're not gonna believe it, Wally." My son was so locked on saying Canelo would win the fight. I said there's a chance Canelo could win it because he seemed like an OG. Everybody sleeping on him. And turned to find out he handled the fight. And my son was more like in a fix almost the whole week. So I wonder if I were to say if I want to be shady and say Crawford would represent Goku and Canelo represent Vegeta, you know what's gonna happen. Get it?
I mean, I get the reference, but no.
He's not laughing because he's a Vegeta fan.
No. See,
Ladies and gentlemen,
pause.
this,
No. I will not have no one fucking dare talk for me. One, this is the problem that I hate with people. Just because someone talks about someone more highly than the next person doesn't make them a super fanboy. It just means you're just speaking on some facts for the time being.
Okay.
So again, no. Again, I get the whole standpoint, but here's the problem where I don't agree with the whole standard of how you make the thing. Because again, yes, you can sit here and say Canelo is power. You can sit here and say Crawford is more technical. Or at the same time, you can also sit here and say there's a different weight cut and everything else. Last time I checked, okay, yes, you can say Crawford's taller, which technically Goku is taller than Vegeta. But let's be honest, it's not even the same height requirement of both these guys even facing the same height. Yes, Crawford is definitely more taller than he is. That's very much true, but that's done. Two, these two guys are fighting on different set of martial arts skills. That's another freaking thing. So again, I get it, but then at the same time, for the overall comparison, no.
And I did that because Canelo fought two of the very best boxers of all time during his time in the career in boxing. He fought with Mayweather, yes, and he fought with Crawford. And he can tell between both two. He said Crawford better than Mayweather. But Canelo is way more experienced in that division because he has fought a lot more fight in that division. But Crawford have done 3 different weight divisions. So I didn't realize he the undisputed champion in all 3 weight class. I was like, unheard of. And everybody keep calling him boring. I trying to figure out why they keep calling the guy boring. Well, yes, he's very technical. He understands boxing better than anybody else. But compared to Mayweather, he was right there in his face. Mayweather like to do a lot of running around, but he stood right there and he was playing a master class. To the point that even boxer commentator had to dissect his skill set. And like this guy was next level. He was doing things that no one expected him to do. Like, see how
I
you
mean, the
do.
fight was very common sense. Anyone that seen the fight, you knew why Canelo lost. Where was the basics? Where was the jabs at? Nowhere to be found. You were really just looking for a heavy shot and then looking to drop him down. I mean, the only jab that you had was a shovel hook to the freaking body. Congratulations.
That is true. And I was watching the whole fight. It's like almost like Crawford was dictating how the fight going to be because he controlled the pace. And even though he did multi jab, he did got some heavy hit in too. But the guy's stamina didn't make no sense. He was the same the whole 12 rounds. So, and I heard Mayweather made a lot of money off the fight.
A lot of
But,
people made money off the fight.
well, that was an interesting fight, but I would like to see a fight. What? Good question. I pop in my head. Who will be the one to finish out the franchise Dragon Ball Z? I doubt it will be like the protege because it seems to me he's not doing much. There's nothing being put out there. So this is why this anime Unlock show is the way it is because if we can find someone who can start digging up dirt on this guy or the protege and see what he's actually trying to do, what's going on with the Dragon Ball Z franchise, so we can really have a real active debate and not be biased until call that it is because now for other franchise you can see it getting to the climax of it. Some
Akira
anime
Takayama's
franchise.
assistant,
Go ahead.
and
Will.
then collect it and bury it with Akira Takayama. Don't put out nothing else. Because one of the conversations we're going to talk about is that harsh criticism I was talking about. And I'm sorry to say this, unless you want to unalive the mistakes made and try to save this from the deep ends of the followings of Dragon Ball, well, I mean, good luck to you. I mean, I know you can have the influence to do it because you did GT, and people can hate GT all they want to, but there were certain parts of elements of GT that were still good that you created. So
We're gonna have some of these Dragon Ball conversation on the show very soon, and it will get ugly. And Black Boma, I know you on Instagram. I'm sure you got fans who may have seen this podcast. We want you to bring your point of view up in here, and don't want to criticize her what she say because what she say here is her view. What I say here is my view. What the legal leader of the Vegeta Club, Wale, say is it's his view. Since he's not the fan president, he's the legal representative for Vegeta. That's what you say?
whatever tickles your fancy.
I'm just the spokesperson for Goku. I'm not the legal.
Yes, you're the spokesperson for the guy that got dropped on his head and motherfucking forgot his same way.
Wow.
Yes.
You want to go there right now? Okay. Okay. You're the spokesperson for the guy who wifey had to tell him, if you don't come down here and stop fighting, I ain't give you no loving.
Hey,
He got
at least
mad when he
she didn't
saw that.
bag him. At least she didn't bag him.
He saw that. He was like, I was like,
I mean, it was offensive, but it was still funny though. I still gotta admit that it was still funny.
I was feeling like Piccolo. I was like, keep your business to yourself. Everybody is feeling awkward, like, what's going on here? What did I miss here? Like, and you saw his face. He was red. You can go and fight him now. Now, if you ask me, that's more niggerish. Dang, if you don't come down here, you ain't getting none tonight. Now, how many guys will do that?
Let's say they're live.
So, in other words, you could be in a boxing match, but I win the championship, and she don't care about you winning the championship. If you don't come down here right now and come home, you ain't getting none. And you're about to win the championship belt.
I mean, well, yeah. There's two ways to look at it.
They were like
You
trust
can look-
David.
you can look
They were
on
like Tank.
the
They were like Tank. Tank was like, ain't let no girl destroy my career. Got rid of that crazy woman, went on and started winning belt. See?
Congratulations to Tank. I'm not gonna let no woman destroy my career. Right. You never had a woman to save your career. How about that one? You never had a woman that cared about it. How about that?
Wow.
At least Boma actually cared about his. How about her man's career? You think I'm
Okay.
lying? GT was a proven factor.
Okay. That is true. GT, yeah. She go out of her way to make sure. That's how Goku got it. I'll help you get yours. She did. And she did. She let Vegeta know.
May not like how
Hey,
it was done though, but I mean, I definitely don't like how it was done.
it's funny.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, and the opposite of Boomer is Chi Chi. Boomer will chill her husband on. Better whoop that man ass. Right?
and isn't it funny? This is the same woman that will destroy your career.
True.
Uh huh.
It's
That
fine.
graveyard is still digging up, isn't it?
Hey. So we're gonna have some crazy anime discussion based on different aspects. I know the Goku versus Goku versus Vegeta argument is never gonna end. And we might do this though. Remember the guy who created the most popular fan base Dragon Ball comic right now on YouTube, Kwame Hodge? Start reviewing his stuff because it's not you can't call it anime yet because he's getting close to getting that thing being produced in the anime format. Because he's doing the comics. And the thing is, I have about let me be honest. Objectively, I'm a little itchy with it because he's bringing some character that don't fit within the theme of what he's doing, but that was his idea. I'm just saying. Well, while he's totally correct, we're gonna start talking about add more to the episode 2 of we did the in depth why you can't put comic book and cartoon in the same format, which is totally correct. Very unique genre and very complicated too. To be quite honest, like I was saying earlier in the show today, I'm so much tired of the different version of Superman, different version of Batman, the different version of Spider-Man, the different version of Iron Man. It's like there's not one consistency of any character comic book right now. Not one. That sucks. But we did a show about the latest Superman, and we heard they did a matchup of different like really. It's like saying taking different version of two potato pie and put it all in one. What kind of flavor would that be? Wally?
What happened?
You take different versions of sweet potato pie you see in the cafeteria and put it together in one. How would that taste come out?
You put a sweet potato pie on your
No,
table?
different different version of sweet potato pie that you find in the cafeteria. Take them all together. They're not made the same way. Take them all together and put it together. How would it taste to you?
I wouldn't know.
Well, that's what to do with the comic book character like Superman, Batman, etc. Too many different versions. There's no one consistency. Because each based on every writer of that particular character that joined in the team, had to put their own twist to it. No, he should have this power. No, he should have that power. No, he should have this power. What Goku need to do to that character is do Hakai and then go back to Superman. How about that? Just saying. That's one rule no comic book character can fight out of. The Hakai. The race. So, anyone to add on? Because we're about to hit the 2 hour mark because I know I spewed a lot of ideas what we can do going next season. The anime unlock.
Wait and stay tuned. These shows will come out soon enough. All I gotta do is
And
write the thumbnail. and write the description.
And he was working on any commentary that you put on each of our show. While they're going through everything as well as me, if he put a short clip responding to it, we look out to it. So he's trying to let you go to hear preaching your commentary, preaching your view, because the more comment we get on these shows, the more we respond to the view, the more we understand where we're going, the direction of this. Other than that, I need to put some lubricant in my tongue. My tongue is drying out. Thirsty, I'm hungry. Read it. I'm not trying to feel like a Yamcha. Okay, pun intended. On that note, this is CBN Texel, aka Black David, aka Bear Paul, and Wally, aka the legal representative for the Vegeta team. Match with them, or they will throw you under the bus. I know.
Can't be thrown under the bus if it's facts. I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Just go back. What I think it was Dragon Ball Daima or whatever, which one show I did it on. Literally, I throwed out facts after facts after facts. If certain things were to have transpired in these moments, we would have a different whole show. Literally, almost every other time.
No problem.
Almost every other time.
That's why he's the legal representative for the Vegeta team. So make sure you don't slander Vegeta name or be a lawsuit.
I mean, whatever.
On that note, good night.